What's up, everyone? I trust you're all doing well. So in case you're new here, my name is Faye, and in today's adventure, as you can tell from the title, we are visiting, or rather we are doing a coffee farm tour. So on this trip, we are going to learn about coffee production, actually coffee growing and production. So coffee is a key forex earner for my country, Kenya, and I'm so excited for this trip. So this is going to be my very first time visiting, or rather touring, a coffee farm. So it's going to be interesting for me, and I'm hoping for you too. So I'm hoping to learn a lot. And yeah, so on my way there, I caught this view that, or rather, I saw this view that caught my attention, and I had to record it and of course share it with you. So the air, everything was just looking and smelling fresh. So this coffee farm is called Karunguru Coffee Farm, as you can tell from the title. And when you get here, you see the 1928 building. So it's named 1928 because the first coffee in this farm was planted in 1928 by a British family known as the Glassfords, and later sold to Mr. Karikia. So even after his passing, the farm is still owned and run by the family. The first thing you get here is you are served coffee of your choice. So in my case, I was served a mocha and some bitings. This was really good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, what a welcome.
Yeah, you're looking for the cherry, which should be more or less this color. If you go to the farm, you find green coffee. That's not ripe, don't pick that. Red and orange, that's not ripe, you pick that, and it's hand picked. Yes. So after picking the coffee, you go through a process we call pulping, where you have a machine called a depulper to get rid of to remove the skin. Okay. Right? So you have, then you remove it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Then from there, the seed is very slimy. It's just mucilage covering it. Very sweet if you want to taste it. So there's a machine called a depulper which removes the skin or does the pulping of the coffee. Then from there, the seed is we take the coffee seed through a process of grading where you put them in water. The heavy set will sink, go separate direction, and the light set will go to another part. So that's how we separate the quality, where you have the heavier set is better quality, and the one is floating is low quality. Water you can try it. Test with kidney beans, the defects float, and whatever good is going
room temperature water.
Yeah, just normal water. That's just basic. It's called basic grading.
Right.
At that stage, we call coffee parchment. Parchement. Many farmers know parchment 1, parchment 2, parchment 3, parchment light. That is just the weight and the defects in the coffee. So P1 should have more of the whole beans and the heavy set. Parchment 2, a bit of defects. Whatever floats is parchment 3 and parchment light. So after separating in terms of parchment, we take the seed through a process of fermentation to get rid of the mucilage. And in fermentation is we dump it, we put it in the tanks, we leave it overnight. Tomorrow we wash it, squeegees, drain water, put clean water until the mucilage is completely done. Then from there, we take the seed to the drying bed in the sun for 2 weeks, because this is what you want to achieve. These are dry parchment, so you can have this. It's called a dry parchment. And then after getting the dry parchment, we take it through another process of called dry mill to mill and get inside there to get the green coffee. To remove the husk and you go directly to the green coffee. So this is what you're looking for. Yes. And now what we've done is roasting. So we have roasted the coffee.
How do you do that? How do you remove all those things?
There's a machine. I'll show you the machine. It's called a mill. It's called dry mill, which removes the husk, polishes the seed. Then we separate them in sizes. I'll show you how to do it. Then from there you go direct to the green coffee after doing the milling. And now we've roasted the coffee. You can do a dark one or you can do a medium roast coffee, right? Then from there you can grind your coffee with a small grinder or a big grinder. Then you can go to your cup. This is called a crop to cup process, yeah, which is known as wet processed coffee. It's more flavorful. But sometimes people don't have the whole time to do that, to take all through the process. So you can just pick your coffee from the farm. We can do it like the Ethiopians or some people in Kenya, we call it mboni or naturals. Or you can just pick your cherry, we dry them for 1 month, they turn black completely. Then you can use the dry mint to go directly to the seed. Some people roast it on a pan, they can make their coffee. Some people in Ethiopia, they can boil it. We call it kahwa, or the same thing like Turkish coffee. That's the second process. There's the wet processing, the other one is the dry process. There's another one people are trying, they are calling it semi-washed or semi-washed coffee, where you just peel the coffee, peel, then you dry the seed with the mucilage. It's also called honey processing.
In the sun?
Yeah, in the sun.
How long? Another 2 weeks?
Or more or less 2 weeks, or more, depending. So it's a very fruity cup of coffee. The problem is the shelf life is shorter than the one which is fully washed.
Because of the mucilage?
Yes. So you find that most of the Kenyan coffee is for auction, goes outside.
Oh.
So you need long
shelf life
and consistency in taste. Yes, that's why we do the wet processing.
Okay, so this process takes how long?
Yeah.
This one?
So this one can
The
take.
cup?
So from the moment you pick to the cup is like 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah. But if you talk about a farmer, from preparing the crop to your cup is like 7 months.
Ooh.
Huh? And so yes, the whole 6 months of preparation for you to get the ripe cherry. Because people forget the farmer mostly because they want just the picking and brewing. But somebody has been doing the work for 6 months, which means you are farming, you are pruning, you are watering, you are feeding, you are doing all that. So yes, because I think there's a mentality that the good coffee comes from the roaster. Not necessarily. Roaster just gets the package.
Yeah,
His work is just to roast.
Yes.
Okay,
So you start from the farmer.
how many times will you pick?
So we
For
have
you
to
plant
pick
again.
for you to plant.
There's no planting.
Like
Just,
from the farmer.
Yeah.
See, you have picked.
Yeah.
So how long again would you pick from the same?
Oh, thank you. So we have, depending on the areas. So here we can have 2 harvest seasons, because now as long as you water the crop, you can have the flower which becomes a cherry. So we have 1 harvest season which comes from April, May, June to July, and maybe pushed to August. Then we have another harvest season which can happen by the end of the year. That is in November, and maybe first one week of December. But that's Kiambu area. Some people in Kenya can just have 1 season for picking. So it also depends if you have water. If you have a drip irrigation, even better. You can have the crop throughout the year. The problem is maybe you can strain the crop a bit. So we try to have harvest seasons for us not to strain also the plant.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's this other one.
Yeah.
Can you use it on gas? Because I know our slave queens are not used to it.
Yeah. So you can for coffee, the authenticity in the coffee is what brings, you feel it. So we can do it on the pan. You can have a pan like the chapati pan. You have the green coffee here. You turn it a bit. As long as they turn brownish, you grind it to the mortar and a pestle. It's the story for the coffee.
I agree, I support it.
Yeah. Do you have any questions, sir? I'm okay. You okay?
So from that introduction, you had Tony, our tour guide for the day, mention about coffee roasting. So this is how the coffee roasting is done in small quantities, or rather small amounts, and used is the jiko. You had someone mention a jiko, that is the source of heat. So once it was done, as you can see, it's very hot, and this is a dark roast, and then it's left to sit for a few hours. Then grinding takes place, and grinding determines how fast the coffee releases its flavors. So one that is so fine means it will release the flavors very quick and or basically very fast. So yeah, that was interesting to learn, and I enjoyed the grinding process. Yeah, it was working out the arms, kinda. Yeah, so thereafter we went to the coffee nursery, where I learned that it's actually the coffee beans that are planted. So the unprocessed coffee beans are planted to yield seedlings, and these seedlings you see here are 4 months old. Yes, 4 months old. So once planted, they sprout, and those were 4 months old. These ones were 1.5 years old. Yes, 1.5 years old. They look tiny, right? To me, they looked small. So it gets to show how much work, or rather, how much waiting time it takes. So this one here, it's a sick coffee plant. So Tony was explaining how they are doing coffee grafting to help reduce or rather make the coffee resistant to diseases. So this one here is the grafted one, and it's 3 years old. How tiny it looks, 3 years old. So this one can be planted, and within an year it's ready to produce the coffee fruit, or rather the coffee beans. Yeah, actually the fruits. Yeah, the cherries. So then we went to the farm. So we did a farm tour, and this was really exciting. It was quite a walk, and we had fun. So coming back, we passed by the what we call their garage. So as you can see, these are some of their farm equipments that they use to run the farm. And this is the coffee beds where they sun dry the coffee beans. So thereafter, we went to the production room. So this is where coffee is inserted to remove the husks. And once it's removed, so the grading takes place. So this learning was quite interesting.
So it's inside.
Yeah.
So nimepita ni A.
No, A is what is left on top.
Nimepita ni
So the other grade. So we have A on top. This is just a bigger bean inside. So Kenyan that's it. Then you can go to RB, PB, PB, P-berry. This one is a very unique one. You can see even the holes are different.
Yes.
These are like, because what you want to get is the round side.
Yeah.
We call it male coffee. You only find one in a cherry. Most of the cherries had 2 seeds. This is only one. So you can imagine all the nutrients are concentrated there. Then you have the smaller beans like the C. You see, these are for espresso. The C and the C seeds. They are very bitter.
Okay.
So they're mostly for espresso. And then you have the others. You can blend them and get the espresso taste in the coffee. And you're done.
So after grading, we went to coffee tasting session. It kind of looked like a wine tasting. So here I learned new words. So like coffee tasting is actually called coffee cupping. So you taste the coffee through smell first. So I preferred this one. Then added water. As you add water, you let it sit for a while, and you'll notice there's some foam at the top, which is called crema. So you push it aside and smell. I still preferred the same cup. Yeah, then you do what is called, this was called slapping. Yeah, so it's kind of you push it into your mouth. Interesting, right? These are some of their packages. So they are packaged in terms of dark roast, medium roast. Yeah, so yeah, it was interesting. I hope you loved this. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share with your friends, and also subscribe. Bye.